This is BeeTv News at 6, reaching you live from Benin City, Edo State capital, Nigeria.
I don't want us to have. I'm going to do very quickly.
The truck was actually coming from Ring Road. It missed a step. So as it was trying to gather itself, it fell.
What we are witnessing these days, it is something we can no longer understand.
They should stop telling us and promising us all those promises are fake, giving us this of promises are fake. We don't want it anymore.
The headlines. Edo State Internal Revenue Service records 52.6 billion naira internally generated revenue in half of the year, achieves 46% increase in revenue performance year on year.
Billion naira. So year to date 2025, we have done a total of 52.6 billion as against a half-year budget of 58.8 billion, giving us an 89.5, I'd say 90% performance year to date.
Leaders of the All Progressives Congress in Edo State expressed confidence of victory at Supreme Court after hearing on Wednesday.
But the opposition decided to drag us all the way to Supreme Court. But by the grace of God, the judgment has been reserved.
Ahead of the 2027 presidential election, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, David Mark, and others launched ADC to unseat President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
This coalition is to prevent our country's defense into a one-party state. We have never seen a government so much attuned with corruption. A government that maintains accountability in all ramifications.
A very good evening to you. Thank you so very much for joining us on BeeTv News at 6. My name is Best Orito. Welcome. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and the 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi, former Senate President David Mark, and other coalition leaders have officially adopted the African Democratic Congress as the platform to spearhead the 2027 presidential election, hoping to defeat the incumbent President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. During the unveiling held on Wednesday at the ADC coalition members secretariat at the ADC coalition members at Yadua Center in Abuja. The report of the African Democratic Congress coalition attracted top political bigwigs. Key figures include a former national chairman of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, Victor Ume, former PDP national chairman, Prince Uche Secondus, Labour Party's 2023 vice presidential candidate, Dante Baba Ahmed, former APC national chairman, John Odige Oyegu, and former Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Abubakar. Also in attendance were former governors, Nasiru El-Rufai Kaduna, Rotimi Amechi Rivers, Gabriel Suswan Benue, Abdul Fatai Ahmed Kwara, Aminu Waziri Tambowa Sokoto, Oserieme Osumbo Edo, Celestine Umeya Rivers, Leah Imoke Cross River, Window Jibrin Adamawa, Emeka Ihedioha Imo, Captain Idris Wada Kogi, former Deputy Governor of Ondo State Agbonla Ajayi, former Ekiti Deputy Governor Kolakpo Olushola, and Deputy Governor of Kogi State Simon Achuba. Others are former Attorney General of the Federation Abubakar Malami and former Secretary to the Government of the Federation Babachi Lawa. Former Senate President David Mark and ex-Osun State Governor Rauf Aregbesola were announced as the interim National Chairman and Secretary of the ADC respectively. In a bid to present a strong challenge ahead of the 2027 elections, prominent opposition figures unveiled a new political coalition in Abuja. The development sparked nationwide discussions on the potential and effectiveness of a united opposition. In his acceptance speech, the newly interim national chairman of the ADC and former president of the Senate, David Mark, acknowledged that the efforts by the 2027 coalition to unseat Tinubu will be challenging. He said the coalition of national political opposition groups goes beyond gaining political power. It is a concerted effort to rebuild the alleged crumbling pillars of Nigerians' democracy. He said the day marked the beginning of what they believe will be a long, difficult, and tedious journey. However, it is a journey, according to him, that they are prepared to undertake, united in their collective belief that no price or sacrifice is too high in the service of their fatherland. The ADC interim chairman stated that within 2 years in office, the current administration has allegedly taken control of key democratic institutions and is gradually steering the country toward a full-blown civilian dictatorship. David Mark stated that Nigerians deserve a government that ensures their safety and makes them feel secure in their homelands.
This coalition is to prevent our country's defense into a one-party state. We have never seen a government so much attuned with corruption. A government that maintains accountability in all ramifications. A government more concerned with the next election rather than the survival of the ordinary Nigeria.
Earlier in his remarks, the founding national chairman of the African Democratic Congress, Ralph Nwonsu, said the party leaders voluntarily resigned to allow David Mark and Aregbesola to take charge and lead efforts to reposition both the party and the country. He said all of them decided to resign so that Senator David Mark, Aregbesola, and others can lead them to the presidential villa. He added that they also approved Mark as the national chairman and Aregbesola as the national secretary of the party. Nwosu said the opposition coalition is not about seeking power, but moving Nigeria to global reckoning.
Giving impetus for our collective endorsement for leadership regimes at all levels came from our NEC members and our NWC. All our 12 meetings, we agreed that the nation is our focus. The endorsement that we got and which we're today going to give to distinguished Senator David Mark.
Speaking after the unveiling of the ADC interim leadership, former Transport Minister Rotimi Amechi said inflation is at its peak and many Nigerians can no longer afford food. He revealed that he resigned from the APC on Tuesday night and expressed surprise that he was not expelled earlier, having warned the party not to invite him to meetings. The former Rivers State governor stated that the coalition is not about changing the government and that if it is about changing the government, there is no need to change the government, it is about changing Nigeria. He alleged that Nigeria is destroyed and that people can no longer eat and people cannot buy food and that everything is gone. Others at the event were Senator Dino Milaye, former Youth Minister Solomon Dalong, Media Mogul Chief Dele Momodu, Senators Iyenaya Abaribe, Suleiman Nazif, Lee Meaba, Alhaji Kashim Imam, former Chief of Air Staff Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, Senator Ishaku Abo, former National Vice President Northwest of the APC, Salihu Lukman, the senator representing the Federal Capital Territory, Irite Kinjibe, and an activist, Aisha Yusuf, among others. Best Orator reporting for BeeTv News. Edo State government has reaffirmed its unwavering commitment to empowering youths and providing a conducive environment for them to thrive and unlock their full potential to enable them to excel in various sectors and to drive the state's growth and development. Governor Monday Okpebholo stated this at the Edo Youth Impact Forum 2025, held at the Victor Waifo Creative Hub along Airport Road, Benin City, Edo State. The event featured the presentation of awards and checks to the 10 finalists of the Edo State Hack the Future Grant competition. The report.
Thank you.
The Edo Youth Impact Forum 2025, organized by the Edo State government, held at the Victor Waifo Creative Hub, drew crowds of young people keen to unlock their potentials. The event spotlighted the Edo State government's commitment to economic revitalization, digital inclusion, educational reform, and job creation, empowering Edo youth to take the reins and shape the state's future. In a remark, Edo State Governor Senator Monday Okpebolo, represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Barrister Musa Ikilo, reaffirmed the state government's commitment and vision to empower youths and give them the necessary environment to thrive through various impactful initiatives. He said the government recognizes that the youth are not just the future, but the force of now, ready to solve problems, lead communities, grow businesses, and drive Edo's development.
I want to encourage the contestants to continue to dream, to think big, even though they may be acting or starting small, but there should be no limit to how far they can go. I mean, from some of the competition that I witnessed, I found a lot of great ideas, and I believe that those ideas will go far.
There were goodwill messages from the Coordinator Office of the First Lady, Mrs. Edesili Anani Okpebolo, APC National Youth Leader Israel Dayo, and Edo State Commander of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Mr. Miche Ofoyeju.
Vocational training. Edo State government has provided opportunities for skills acquisition in areas like ICT, entrepreneurship, and innovation.
No matter the pain, no matter the poverty, no matter the challenge, dream, visualize success. Where do I want to be?
We heard of a young man who testified that he's 3 years clean. So it is possible. Treatment is good and prevention is the best way to go.
A documentary showcasing Edo State government's achievements in youth empowerment and inclusion was presented, highlighting Governor Okpebolo's administration's commitment to engaging young people in governance. They charged the youths to be determined, focused, and passion-driven to unlock and unleash their full potential by resource persons through the impact stage and panel session discussions on the topic, from hustle to scale, building sustainable youth-led enterprises.
Not just an entry-level person just coming in and you just have to train. I was already trained and I was prepared already.
At the point where the content creation or whatever it is you're doing starts to give you more money than your 9 to 5, and then the 9 to 5 becomes an hindrance.
The high point of the event was the presentation of awards and checks to 10 finalists of the Edo State Hack and Future Grant competition, with the top 5 receiving 2 million naira each and the other 5 finalists receiving 1 million naira each.
And make it grow. So may it grow, may it become bigger. Go and do great things. Thank you.
In an interview with newsmen, some of the finalists of the Edo State Hack the Future Grant competition expressed gratitude to the Edo State government for the prizes, stating that it has helped to motivate them to put more efforts into what they do best.
Of these grants, and also the organizers of the Edo Youth Impact Forum program for 2025. It's a great privilege. I was surprised, but I'm excited and I'm ready to change lives and save lives in Edo State.
We're really trained, not just about the grant, but how to run your business, how to brand, how to do your legal compliance. We had people, resource people that came to train us. I remember the former chief of staff of stores the last day and just came to train us for free, something worth thousands of dollars, and we're very grateful. Thank you so much.
Participants of the event also commended Governor Monday Okpebolo for organizing the event, stating that it has helped to boost and reshape their mindset as they will go back to their various businesses and skills to practice what they have learned.
In Excellency Senator Monday Okpebolo, I want to say a very big thank you for putting this together to inspire the youth and to tell us that yes, we can become great people and we can become people that we aspire to be.
It's good. It's something that I think a lot of people would look forward to, and I feel like from this particular event it will yield like more outreach the next time.
The event was electrified as multiple award-winning Edo-born singer Johnny Drill, added color to the event with his captivating presentation. The Edo State Internal Revenue Service has made a milestone achievement with a record of 52.6 billion naira as a total of internally generated revenue from January to June 2025, with a 46% increase in revenue performance compared to last year. BeeTv News Osarugi Agbebo reports that the executive chairman of the Edo State Internal Revenue Service, Honorable Barrister Chief Olandele Bakole Balogun, disclosed this to journalists on Thursday during a press briefing on the EIROS half-year performance review held at the Sonny Okundia Training Center, Edo State Internal Revenue Service Office, New Lagos Road, Benin City, Edo State. His report.
Briefing journalists, the Executive Chairman, Edo State Internal Revenue Service, Honorable Barrister Oladele Bankole Balogun, said the Edo State Internal Revenue Service have set new records in internally generated revenue (IGRO) in the first half of 2025. He said from January to June, the Edo State Internal Revenue Service has recorded a total of 52.6 billion naira as internally generated revenue as against a half of the year budgeted figure of 58.8 billion, which represents an 89.5% performance year to date. He said the Edo State Internal Revenue Service record of 52.6 billion naira IGRO is a 46% increase in revenue performance compared to last year.
Results speak for themselves. In January of 2025, you would recall that for the very first time under the leadership of His Excellency Senator Monday Okwebolo, this revenue service, for the very first time ever, was able to deliver 10.4 billion naira as IGR. In February, we did a very, very respectable 9.6 billion. We were able to match that again in March and April with 6.9. In May, we did a 7.8, which are very, very good, above average figures. But I'm happy to announce to you that in the month of June, just ended, we have done over 11 billion in IGR. In actual fact, you can see me adjusting my seat and smiling. In actual fact, we have done 11.05 billion naira. So year-to-date 2025, we have done a total of 52.6 billion as against a half-year budget of 58.8 billion, giving us an 89.5, I'd say 90% performance year-to-date.
Honorable Barrister Oladele Bankole Balogun attributed the success to key initiatives such as staff capacity enhancement, stakeholders engagement, infrastructure upgrade, improved staff welfare, and strengthen compliance with tax law. He added that Edo State Internal Revenue Service is also driving transformative initiatives, include automation of tax processes and establishment of one-stop shop centers, driver's licenses, and vehicle administration centers, noting that with the governor's approval, they are collaborating with VASI to establish new centers across 6 strategic locations in the state. The chairman, Edo State Internal Revenue Service, Honorable Barrister Oladele Bankole Balogun, said the historic achievement reflects the unwavering support of Governor Monday Okwebolo and his deputy, Dennis Idahosa. He appreciated taxpayers of Edo State, individuals, corporations, and government MDAs whose level of alliance has been instrumental to their success.
This achievement is historic, as I said, as it reflects the synergy between the staff, management, and most importantly, the unwavering support of the executive governor, distinguished Senator Monday Okwebolo, and his deputy, Right Honorable Dennis Idahosa. Let me once again appreciate the great taxpayers of Edo State, individuals, corporations, some of which I have mentioned earlier on, and government departments and MDAs whose level of compliance has been instrumental to our success
During the briefing, journalists were given the chance to ask questions on key issues and were all provided with detailed answers by Honorable Oladele Bankole Balogun. Honorable Barrister Oladele Bankole Balogun highlighted key approaches moving forward to generate tax revenue, including leveraging the newly signed Tax Reforms Act. He urged stakeholders to join in building a tax-complete Edo as he reiterated the Edo State Internal Revenue Service commitment to delivering value-added services, improving transparency, and strengthening the tax system to build a sustainable Edo State. Osarogi Agwebo, reporting for BeeTv News.
Edo State Deputy Governor Right Honorable Dennis Idahosa and other leaders of the All Progressives Congress have expressed confidence that the Supreme Court will deliver judgment in favor of the APC and Governor Monday Okpebholo. The leaders stated this while speaking with journalists in Abuja on Wednesday, shortly after the Supreme Court hearing of the appeal by Aswan Ighodalo and the PDP. On Wednesday, 2nd of July 2025, a 5-man panel of justices of the Supreme Court entertained the appeal filed by the PDP 2024 governorship candidate Dr. Aswan Ighodalo and the People's Democratic Party. The prayers of the appellant is that the Supreme Court should overturn the decision of the lower court and declare Aswan Ighodalo as the winner of the September 21, 2024 Edo governorship election. The appellant had argued that the decision of the trial tribunal and the Court of Appeal was a miscarriage of justice. Whereas INEC, Senator Monday Okpebholo and the APC, who were on the same page, said the Supreme Court should follow the decision reached by the Tribunal and Court of Appeal to dismiss the appeal of the PDP. They said that it was not enough for the appellants to allege that the judgment of the lower court was perverse, but must clearly spell it out from the records of the court, because the appellants only carried out expression of non-compliance and could not prove it. They said, how can a petitioner who called only 5 polling unit agents to testify and who did not demonstrate overvoting in an open court but relied on final written address to prove non-compliance and overvoting, and still want the Supreme Court to declare them winner in an election they claimed to be invalid? Speaking to journalists at the end of the hearing, Edo State Deputy Governor Right Honorable Dennis Idahosa said from the argument canvassed, it was obvious that the PDP case was dead on arrival, as the facts and arguments speaks for themselves.
I want to thank the judiciary. It's the hope of a common man. We've gone through first stage, second stage, this is the third one. And it's not a news to us. We won the election clearly, but the opposition decided to drag us all the way to Supreme Court. But by the grace of God, the judgment has been reserved, and we are very, very hopeful that it's going to be in our favor.
On their part, former Deputy Governor of Edo State, Right Honorable Comrade Philip Shuaibu, State Chairman of APC Emperor Jared Tinebe, former member representing of your federal constituency, Honorable Barrister Mosede Gbinidio, and Edo State Legal Advisor of the APC, Barrister Stephen Okoro, expressed optimism that the Supreme Court will uphold the election of Governor Monday Okpebholo.
My little experience that I've had through litigation, this is a done deal for Senator Monday Okpebholo, because ab initio from the lower court to Court of Appeal, you see that beyond being inconsistent, you cannot be challenging the result of a whole state and you'll be bringing only 5 witnesses to come and defend that. It's an abomination to, as far as electoral law is concerned, it's an abomination. You must be able to prove beyond reasonable doubt. And one of the ingredients, one of the major things you must deal with is to advance witnesses to defend what you are alleging. And in their own case, it was not like that. So they are repeating themselves. What they did in the lower court, they did the same at the Court of Appeal. They are advancing it at the Supreme Court.
Well, you know, the Supreme Court is always very brief when you come to matters of appeal. And the same thing that were canvassed at the Court of Appeal is the same thing that they are canvassing here. And it is clear, you heard our lawyers very clearly. You must be consistent when you are filing anything in court. Consistency matters. And you cannot be in one breath saying that election is invalid and you are asking for you to be declared the winner of such an election. And when you heard all those arguments now, You don't need a rocket scientist to tell you where the pendulum is swinging. And I'm very convinced that our lawyers have done a very good job.
To me, it has been evident from the onset that we are clearly going to win, and the judgment, I'm sure, will give validity to what took place during the gubernatorial elections. We have no doubt about it, and our counsel has put in a very good argument to sustain such, and therefore we look forward to the judgment, and I'm sure that we will be celebrating, yes, and I'm happy that I'm on the winning side. And the governor, I must commend him because he has done excellently well. He hit the ground running despite all the challenges with the various court processes. He's been able to stay focused and remain focused on delivering the dividends of democracy to the people of Edo State.
Both the petitioners, or what we call the appellants, and respondents. Now, both parties, they have canvassed their issues, and the dates now reserved for judgment. Now, what the rest appellants did was that they are challenging the judgment of the appeal court to say, oh, appeal court, people erred, now upholding the cross petition of the governor. And so they looked at it and said, look, this is an issue that has to do with dumping materials, dumping of exhibits. And the court now said, well, at the Court of Appeal level, Court of Appeal now said it was just a mere academic exercise and their petition or their appeal was thrown out. Dissatisfied with this appeal or the appeal, the appellant as the PDP came back to the Supreme Court on same issues to canvass an issue that is a mere academic exercise. I don't know what they want the Supreme Court to do. Whether they're going to manufacture other things from heaven, I don't know. So, but so far so good. We are good to go. APC is good to go. The government is good to go.
As the leader of ASAN race, I didn't think we were going to get to this stage because the Edo people spoke and it was very loud and clear. I expected my younger brother as well to have seen that we are only some people and we understand that only one person can govern at the same time. Well, he had decided to exercise his own fundamental human rights by getting to this stage. And I do not expect anything strange because the lower court have laid a very solid foundation that they don't have any case. So, and I expected that after this, he will come and join his younger one to move Edo forward.
The respondents in the case said the grounds of the petition are entirely issue of non-compliance and therefore proof must be from polling units to polling units. They said the appellants complained of 765 polling units, but they called only 5 witnesses from the polling units, and the remaining 14, making 19 that they called, were not polling unit agents but spread across wards and local governments. The Supreme Court is expected to communicate to parties on the date and time for the judgment. The Supreme Court is the final stage in this petition. Best Orator reporting for BeeTv News. On Wednesday, 2nd July 2025, Senator Monday Kpebolo, the Executive Governor of Edo State, inaugurated key projects in Sokoto State, seat of Caliphate. Some of the projects inaugurated by Governor Kpebolo were the Tamaje Water Scheme and the Mabera Township Road. The projects commissioning were part of activities marking the second-year anniversary of the administration of His Excellency Governor Ahmed Ali of Sokoto State. Governor Kpebolo appreciated the noble opportunity to perform the commissioning in faraway northern Nigeria, saying that it is not just a privilege, it is a reflection of the growing partnerships he is building across the country, and that it is also a sign that a new Edo has risen. He congratulated his brother governor and the great people of Sokoto State for their strides in development and said together they will continue to advance progress, unity, and shared prosperity across Nigeria. Similarly, Edo State Governor Senator Monday Kpebolo, represented by the head of service, Dr. Anthony Usakungbawa, has formally welcomed the first batch of the third cohort of the state's graduate development program into the state civil service in Benin City. BeeTv News Osarugi Agwebo completes the report.
At the induction ceremony, the HOS disclosed that the governor, Senator Monday Okpebholo, had not only endorsed the continuation of the program upon assumption of office, but also introduced strategic improvements to ensure the long-term effectiveness of the initiative, by scaling it to include fully sponsored master's degree for deserving candidates. He commended the foresight and leadership of the governor for sustaining and expanding the initiative. He said that when the governor came on board, he was very quick to say that the GDP, which harnesses and put together the first-class graduates of Edo origin, must be sustained and continued. Okumbawa said to address limitations within civil service structure, particularly the probationary period, which new employees are restricted from pursuing in-service academic training, Governor Okpebholo directed that all new GDP candidates first obtain their master's degree before entering full service. He further mandated that the government would fully sponsor the postgraduate education of each candidate, covering tuition and providing monthly stipends. He insisted they must be equipped to do exceptionally well within the service.
You will recall that when Mr. Governor came on board, he was very quick to say that the graduate development program, which harnesses and puts together the first-class graduates of Edo origin, they sustained and continued. And Mr. Governor gave the enablement to allow us to do that. But beyond that, he decided to high-grade the project because for him, he felt that it was needful and expedient that even though these young people are coming to the service, that we allow them have all that it takes for them to do exceptionally well within the service. But it is something unique. He said to us, for every one of those people, every one of those first-class graduates, we must ensure that tuition fees for those programs are paid, and that there is also something that's given to them at the end of every month so that they don't suffer while they go through that program. And at the end of the day, they come in automatically. So we went back to them, we had that conversation with them. Then we discovered that some of them already had their master's degrees. And so we said to them, and the governor approved it readily, that for those who have their master's degrees already, that they should come into the service immediately. So we are welcoming some of them today into the service. And the arrangement has also been made for the others who do not have yet to go for their master's degrees, why their tuition and other things that the governor has said he will do is done for them.
One of the newly inducted officers, Akato Esther, a first-class graduate of microbiology with a master's degree in public health, expressed appreciation to the state government for the gesture and for the opportunity to serve Edo State. She said, as a first-class graduate of microbiology and the public health users with a master's in public health, she is looking forward to bringing her expertise to serve Edo State in a positive way that will take the state to the next level. Similarly, Destiny Osayande, a first-class graduate from the University of Benin, acknowledged the merit-based nature of the selection process and its symbolic importance, saying they have just been incorporated into the service by the Edo State government as indigene, following tradition and promise to deliver a quota in service delivery.
As I said, gratitude to His Excellency Senator Monday Okpebholo, and also to our head of service, Honorable Antonio Okumbawa, for this opportunity to serve Edo State. I look forward to bringing that expertise to serving Edo State.
I'm very happy to be here today. It's actually a very wonderful day to experience as dedicated students and graduates from the University of Benin. We've just been incorporated into the system, and due to the appointment that has been given to us by the Edo State government as indigenes of Edo State.
However, the HOS also confirmed that candidates who already possess relevant postgraduate qualifications have been granted immediate entry into civil service. He charged the inductees to uphold the principles of diligence, discipline, and public service ethics, stressing the critical role of civil servants as enablers of effective governance. He concluded that the inductees are high-grade civil servants, as he said, "Welcome, Osarugi Agwebo," reporting for BeeTv News.
The Edo State Flood, Erosion and Watershed Management Agency has warned against indiscriminate waste disposal in the state. The indiscriminate waste disposal, which has led to blockade of drains, is one of the reasons that necessitated flooding in the state. The Chief Executive Officer of Edo State Flood, Erosion and Watershed Management Agency, Honorable Ahmed Musa Momo, gave the warning during the inspection tour of Urban Market Road, where serious deterioration of drains is ongoing. BeeTv News, Esoe Osemegi has more.
Urban Market is one of the biggest markets in Edo State where virtually all desired household items, foodstuff can be bought. The market has been ravaged with flooding for years. Drainage systems have been clogged, affecting the livelihoods of traders in the state. In a bid to relieve Edo residents and safeguard livelihoods, the Edo State government has prioritized the desilting and maintenance of flood infrastructures, leaving no area untouched. On Wednesday, the Chief Executive Officer of Edo State Flood, Erosion and Watershed Management Agency, Honorable Ahmed Musa Mama, visited Urban Market to inspect the ongoing desilting and maintenance of flood water infrastructures ongoing in the market. Honorable Mama expressed great appreciation to the state governor, Senator Monday Ukbawulu, for being proactive and people-focused. Mama stated that the flood issue has ravaged for years, and upon assumption of office, the governor swung into action to desilt all the drainage in the state to reduce the impact of flooding in the state.
Okpawolo is a clean man. You can see him from the onset, from head to toe. He's a clean person. So he's ready to clean Edo. And you can see, even while we are busy doing the work of cleanliness, we are also clean. You can see my MD, how clean it is. So that is why our slogan is let Edo be clean. Let there be sanity in Edo. Because otherwise, this sickness that is going on now, is what we are doing that is even bringing it down.
While at the inspection, he appealed to the traders to take ownership of government-provided infrastructure and support government to tackle flood and erosion in the state. He added that the state governor, Senator Monday Ukbawulu, is committed to the safety of residents and that improper disposal of waste into floodwater infrastructure will not be condoned. Mama added.
We have ensured that there is sanity in everywhere. And I'm coming from Mugbo Road. I'm coming from Limit Road, where we are trying to see how we can also make all those inlets flow to Oba River. And I want to thank Edo people for giving us this opportunity, for giving the governor this opportunity to serve them. And I'm sure they are happy. They are seeing caterpillar everywhere now working.
Other sites visited includes First Ugbo, Edokbayi Street, off Limit Road, all in Benin City. Esoe Osemegi reporting for BeeTv News.
In another development, the Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Sir Dr. Lucky Segbe, has received members of the Edo State Commission for Persons with Disabilities during a courtesy visit aimed at fostering collaboration and improving grassroots engagement. BeeTv News' God's Gift Omone reports that the delegation was led by the chairman of the commission, Mr. Theophilus Egbedion, who spoke on the commission's vision and objectives.
That will now take it to various chairmen of the local governments for their support.
During the visit, Mr. Theophilus Egbedion stated that the commission was officially established in March 2025 under the leadership of the executive governor, His Excellency Senator Monday Ukbawulu. He noted that the purpose of the visit was to build a strong working relationship
all the things we are going to be doing, we are going to pass through the local government. They are going to help us here at the grassroots. They are the ones that we really need. I'm begging you so that when you call them for a meeting, so you appeal to them very soon. We'll be going from local government to local government so that they should cooperate with us and help us in all aspects we need their help.
We want to thank you all once again for your visit, and we are also taking note of your submission and your requests. Of course, we see no reason why, as a ministry and as a local government, why we will not be able to partner with your commission. And I'm sure this is the first time that the government of Senator Mondo, or if possible since the inception of Edo State, that we're having a commission of this nature that cares for persons with disability. For us, we think this is a plus to the government of Senator Mondo. In that same spirit, we see no reason why we're not be ready to collaborate with your commission. Not just the local government, including even the ministry. Areas where you think that the ministry will be able to collaborate, let us know. We will do it. But we must work together as partners to ensure that the 5-point agenda of Senator Mondo is realized and achieved in no distance time. So I think on this note, we want to thank you. The rest assured anything you need, let us know we are ready to collaborate with you.
Soher Osemeki, reporting for BeeTv News.
The Lagos State government has begun the distribution of 8 million clean cook stoves to promote environmental sustainability and public health. The initiative started with 12 beneficiaries for Makoko receiving clean cooking stoves, while the Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Mr. Okwe George, described the event as a beginning of a transformative movement focused on sustainability, health, and economic inclusion for vulnerable populations. Speaking at the event where the beneficiaries got the clean stoves, Mr. George stressed that the event marks the first spark of a transformative movement, one that prioritizes environmental sustainability, public health, economic inclusion, especially among most vulnerable ones.
An opportunity for us to be able to sort of have cooking stoves that are clean, that are more energy efficient, that are good for our environment and good for, just a general well-being, so we eliminate the use of firewood and charcoal and then ensure that we can at least use cooking stoves that are good for our environment and for our communities. I think it's essential for them to sort of grasp it and make sure that they can make the best of the opportunity. I know it will be difficult for us to reach everyone, but we'll start, at least we're starting off with a pilot, and we'll hopefully be able to roll out to many more communities as we go ahead. So I think it's just for us to start, and which we're doing today.
We're excited that people are becoming receptive of the initiative and the concept in itself, but it's also an opportunity for us to pitch the investment landscape so that we know, because these cooking stoves are coming at no cost. So that means that some blockchain of cost has been borne by some entities, and we need to expand the landscape of those entities. We need to get them to plug into the financing of this program so that the returns on it from a climate finance perspective can be felt on every aspect.
This is the Rolls Royce of clean cook stove. This is the best clean cook stove in the world. You talk of emission reduction, you talk of indoor air pollution, you talk of the time that our women waste in gathering firewood to cook, you talk of economic empowerment, you talk of time saved for children that are supposed to be in school that are gathering firewood. So it does a whole lot for us, and this is what we need. This is what Africa needs. Africa for Africa, Africans for Africans.
The Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission has reaffirmed its commitment to ending gas flaring by 2030. Details of this and more when we return. Stay with us.
It's finally here, the day we've all been waiting for. The coronation ceremony of His Royal Majesty Michael Eshoronoya Olonufemi Sado, the Okwelagbe of Okwela Kingdom. Join us live on July 5th, 2025 at the Aveva Primary School, Okube, Okwela, Edo State, as we witness the coronation ceremony of our King, His Royal Majesty Engineer Michael Eshoronoya Olonufemi Sado, the Okwelagbe of Okwela Kingdom. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Senator Monday Okpebolo, Executive Governor of Edo State. Signed, High Chief Hansen Aimofume, Chairman Planning Committee. For inquiries, call 0803-360-7379. Barrister Akuri Afegwa, Palace Secretary. Long live the King. Our glory is back.
And now talking business, the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission has reaffirmed its commitment to ending routine gas flaring by 2030 and reducing emissions by 60% by 2031. The agency gastric transition strategy was announced during the 24th Nigerian Oil and Gas Energy Week held in Abuja. Also, Microsoft lay off 9,000 workers globally. Let's now join BeeTv News at Soil 7K for details of these and more from the business world.
The chief executive of the NUPRC, Engineer Gbenga Komolafe, stated that the strategy is aimed at unlocking Nigerians' vast gas reserves, attracting foreign and domestic investment, and creating employment opportunities across the energy sector. The plan has been implemented through several national initiatives, including the Decade of Gas, the Nigerian Gas Flare Commercialization Program, and the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative. According to Komolafe, these efforts aligned with the nation's climate change mitigation policies and energy transition goals. The Regulatory Commission is working in coordination with other agencies to ensure effective implementation and industrial compliance. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, has called for a recalibration of the global financial system to better accommodate the needs of developing economies. The statement was made during Nigeria's presentation at the 4th International Conference on Financing for Development held in Sevilla, Spain. During the high-level roundtable focused on domestic resource mobilization, Edun emphasized the need for a more inclusive and equitable global financial architecture. He outlined Nigerian strategic priorities, which includes investment in digital infrastructure, increased transparency in governance, and institutional reform as part of a broader effort to improve the efficiency of public spending. Microsoft Corporation has announced plans to lay off approximately 9,000 employees in a global restructuring effort. The job cuts will affect less than 4% of the company's global workforce and will impact various departments, job levels, and regional offices. The layoffs are part of Microsoft's strategy to streamline operations and increase efficiency in response to the evolving global business environment. Internal sources indicate that the company is targeting excessive layers of management in a bid to enhance team performance and operational speed. The company maintains that these changes are necessary to position its teams for long-term competitiveness in a dynamic technology market. Guarantee Trust Holding Company, GTCO, is preparing to list its ordinary shares on the London Stock Exchange, marking the first listing of a Nigerian banking group on the exchange. The listing is part of a public equity offering intended to raise approximately $100 million. The accelerated book build commenced on July 2nd, 2025 and will close on July 31st, 2025. In the process, GTCO will cancel the listing of its global depository receipts from the UK Financial Conduct Authority's official list and the admission to trading on the LSE mains market. The move is expected to enhance GTCO's access to international capital and increase its visibility among global investors. And that is where we close the curtains for tonight's business news segment. I am Sohair of Semeki, reporting for BeeTv News.
And now moving on to the global scene, where Shane Diddy Combs has been denied bail following his conviction for transporting individuals for prostitution. However, it was acquitted of the more serious charges, including racketeering and sex trafficking. Also, mass evacuation is ongoing as wildfire sweeps across Greek island of Crete. BeeTv News correspondent Harmony Agbafo has more on these and others from the global scene.
Sean Diddy Combs has been denied bail after being convicted of transporting individuals for prostitution, though he was acquitted of more serious charges including racketeering and sex trafficking. Despite arguments from his lawyers that he posed no flight risk and had shown efforts to reform, the judge cited his history of violence as grounds to keep him detained until sentencing him on October 3rd, where he faces up to 20 years in prison. The trial, which lasted nearly 2 months, centered around allegations that Combs used his influence and business network to exploit women. A large fire on the Greek island of Crete has forced the evacuation of around 1,500 people, including tourists, as flames threaten homes, hotels, and infrastructure near Lerapetra. Strong winds, steep terrain, and dry conditions are fueling the fire, which spans over 6 kilometers. Emergency services, including over 150 firefighters and helicopters, are battling the blaze, while more crews are being deployed. Several homes have been destroyed, smoke has caused poor air quality, and hospitals are on alert. South Africa's ANC and DA are in a tense coalition called the Government of National Unity, GNU, formed after the ANC lost its majority in 2024. Despite ideological differences and public disputes, especially over corruption, land expropriation laws, and policy decisions, they remain together to avoid political fallout. DA leader Johnston Hazen has criticized President Ramaphosa's leadership and threatened a no-confidence motion, but stopped short of leaving the GNU. Both parties use coalition as a political platform ahead of local elections, though internal communications and trust remain severely strained. That is all from the global scenes. Harmony Agbafo reporting for BeeTv News.
And now talking entertainment. Nigerian music legend Two-Face Idibia, also known as Innocent Idibia, also known as Tubaba, has found himself at the center of controversy following a viral interview with podcast host Nedu. The interview, initially intended as a publicity initiative, sparked widespread backlash due to its content and alleged breach of agreement. A sequel to the 2006 film The Devil Wears Prada is officially in development, with original cast members Mary Streep, Annie Hathaway, Emily Blunt, and Sterling Tusi set to reprise their role. Let's now join BeeTv News, God's Gift Omone, for details.
Sources indicate that the interview with Tubaba was supposed to be a controlled PR session. Nedu allegedly encouraged Tubaba to be candid and controversial, promising to review the content together before making it public. Following the recording, Two-Face reportedly expressed discomfort with the material and pleaded with Nedu not to publish it. Despite this agreement, Nedu released a preview of the interview, after which Two-Face attempted to contact him multiple times. The calls were allegedly ignored and the full interview was eventually published. The incident has led to public backlash and an apology from Two-Face, who was reportedly embarrassed by the interview's content. There are claims that the disagreement has caused a fallout between both parties. During the interview, Nedu prefaced challenging questions with expressions of affection towards Two-Face, which has drawn further scrutiny given the aftermath. Renowned director Christopher Nolan has released the first official poster for his upcoming film, The Odyssey, an adaptation of Homer's classic epic poem. The poster features the tagline, "Defy the Gods," and depicts a solitary ship battling turbulent seas under a stormy sky, setting a tone for grandeur and existential conflict. The film is scheduled for release on July 17, 2026. Sources suggest The Odyssey will not be a conventional mythological epic. Instead, it will adapt a psychological and philosophical narrative structure, exploring themes of trauma, memory, and fate. Sean Diddy Combs has been found guilty on 2 federal counts of transporting women across state lines for prostitution, following a high-profile trial in New York. He was acquitted of 3 additional charges, including racketeering and sex trafficking. The legal proceedings began with Diddy's arrest on September 6, 2024. After a year-long federal investigation, he was charged with 5 felony counts, including RICO racketeering conspiracy, 2 counts of sex trafficking, and 2 Mann Act violations. The investigation included evidence from raids, during which over 100,000 bottles of baby oil and video recordings from alleged freak-off events were seized. The trial spanned nearly 2 months, from May 5th to July 2nd, 2025. And that is it from the entertainment world. Gosgift Omone, reporting for BeeTv News.
And now to the exciting world of sports, where Lionel Messi has only 6 months left on Inter Miami contract and is free to negotiate with any club. The football star is also considering returning to his former club Barcelona. Also, promising Nigerian athlete Ineabog Uko, provisionally suspended for 2 years over whereabouts failure. Also, and from the African continent, the Confederation of African Football has unveiled new WAFCON trophy. BeeTv News sports correspondent Freeman Osawe has more on this.
If Messi wants to retain at Inter Miami, his current status is not a source of concern for the Herons. The problem for the Miami-based side is that he is contemplating leaving, while Inter Miami immediately issued a counter report expressing confidence in their negotiations with Messi's camp for a renewal. The Argentine now holds all the leverage. Messi is considering leaving the club when his contract expires to join a European club to help him get adequate physical preparations for the 2026 World Cup in an intense setting. The football star return to Barcelona could also be on the cards. The Blaugrana are set to return to Camp Nou later this year, giving Messi's abrupt exit. They have been musing that Barcelona are planning to bring him back to give him a befitting farewell. The 400-meter sensation Ineabog Uko, a student athlete at Baylor University, received the sanction for committing 3 whereabouts failures within 12 months, a violation of anti-doping regulations. Uko was previously suspended on July 7, 2024, and her ineligibility will extend to July 23, 2026. The youngster rose to prominence at just 14 years old by winning the 400-meter title at Nigeria's National Sports Festival in 2018. She also commented her status as a rising star by clinching gold in the 400-meter at the 2021 World U20 Championship. Liverpool to battle Bayern for another top Bundesliga talent after winning weight race. Liverpool are reportedly set to lock arms with Bayern Munich for another key transfer target as the Bundesliga defender on the Bavarian shopping list. The Reds beat the Bundesliga champions to the signing of Florian Wirtz and are now set to be competing with the Germans for the talent of French defender Castello Lukeba, following the exit of Jarek Quansah to Bayer Leverkusen and, more importantly, the lack of progress in the contract talks for Ibrahim Konate. Liverpool are reportedly plotting a centre-back signing for the summer and have identified Lukeba as an ideal target. The 22-year-old French Angolan joined Leipzig from Lyon in the summer of 2023 and has established himself as one of the most reliable defenders in the Bundesliga. The Confederation of African Football Federation has unveiled a new trophy for the Total Energy scarf Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON in Morocco. The trophy was unveiled on Wednesday night at an event hosted by CAF and long-term partner Total Energies in Casablanca, Morocco's capital. CAF in a statement said the trophy is a powerful symbol of the rise and recognition of women's football across the African continent. According to the football governing body, the new design represents more than a piece of silverware. It is a celebration of equality, unity, and excellence. The launch of the new trophy forms part of the CAF leadership goal of developing and growing women's football in Africa and making African women's football amongst the best in the world. And that's it on Sport News tonight. Thanks for watching. Freeman Osawe reporting for BeeTv News.
And that's a wrap on our news tonight. Thank you so very much for watching. My name is Best Orator. See you next time. Good night.